So you just moved to the Kingdom of Denmark? Well, welcome. Let's get you up to speed with the basics.
Queen is called Margaret II, we pay with Danish kronas and speak Danish. That's the only official language. Favorite drink is beer, we hate Norwegians and they hate us. We like to hygge, care for the environment and exercise. We nod politely when we see our neighbors, but that's pretty much it. If we're on a train, we don't talk, we put in the headphones.
But sometimes we need to talk to people. So what SIM card should you get when you move to Denmark?
We'd recommend you get either Lebara or Leica Mobile, depending on which one you'll find first. You can buy them in most kiosks. These are the cheapest SIM cards you can get. Their coverage plans are surprisingly cheap, with price around 100 Danish kronas, which is about 13 euros, for 100 gigabytes of 4G and many hours of call.
Also, if you did not notice before, being in European Union guarantees you free data roaming. That means that if you'll be traveling outside of Denmark, to Germany for example, you don't have to really worry about the data. You'll have it for free, as well as your calls.
And speaking of travel, make sure to get yourself a rugbrød if you plan on using public transportation. We will talk more about transportation in the third video of this series, but try to order it as soon as possible as it takes time to get to you. It will cost you 50 Danish crowns, which is around 7 euros. Also, consider subscribing to the channel so you will not miss the video when it comes out.
Denmark is a country full of bicycles. They are everywhere. After 4 years, we've learned how to filter them out, but holy smokes, you won't believe how many there are everywhere.
But there is a good reason for it. Denmark, and especially large cities such as Aarhus and Copenhagen, have an excellent bike infrastructure. There are bike lanes next to all main roads, there are dedicated traffic lights for bikes, and even dedicated parking spots right next to all major institutions and buildings. So if you're in a search for a bike, which you should be when you move here, you have two options, buy or rent. If you want to buy a bike, you can either use Facebook Marketplace or you can use dba.dk. Remember that Danish word for bicycle is cykel. Quality second-hand bicycle will cost you around 1000 Danish kronas, which is around 130 euros, but you might be lucky and find a cheaper one. And if you want to rent, they will lend you the bike for a reasonable price and also provide all necessary services. So if you, for example, get a flat tire, you can call them and they will fix it for you. In both cases, get a good lock. With so many bikes, bike theft is a common thing. If you want to read more about biking in Denmark, you can find a link to our blog in the description of the video. Also, make sure that your lights are working all the time and you are not riding on the main roads and pedestrian streets. Doing so can lend you a ticket of 500 Danish crowns, which is more than 60 euros.
And I can hear you right now saying, Michael, this Danish krona thing is so confusing. And I can tell you, yes it is. You see, 1 Danish crown is 0.13 euros, or in other words, 10 Danish crowns are 1.3 euros. It's very confusing and it takes some time to get used to it, so I can recommend you to get some currency converter. The one I've been personally using for many years, it's called Currency. It's easy to use, the exchange rates are updated regularly, and it also shows you a list of all different currencies there are, so you can see how much you're spending, even in Japanese yens.
You should know that cash is a thing of yesterday here in Denmark. We are trying to digitalize all the payments, and the only person taking cash only will be your drug dealer.
All shops in Denmark accept credit cards, mobile pay, Apple Pay, or other cardless methods of payment. If you're already in Denmark, it's a good idea to set up mobile pay. You need a Danish number to do so, but it's gonna make your life much easier. I promise.
So now that you know how to spend your money, where should you go to do so? Your first stop is most likely going to be a supermarket. Here in Denmark, we get dozens of supermarkets, and depending on where you live, you might find some of them more often than others. All supermarkets in Denmark have centralized prices, so Rema 1000 in Copenhagen will have the same 2 krona bananas as Rema 1000 in Skagen. And speaking of Rema 1000, together with Lidl and Fakta, they are the cheapest shops where you can shop. The ones you should avoid are Superbrugsen, Netto and Bilka. Those are really expensive. If you need to get some extra furniture for your flat, it's good to know that we have both IKEA and Jysk in Denmark. In Aarhus, IKEA is behind the city, so you can take a bus there. There is Jysk right next door, so you can find everything you need in one place. If you want to shop cheaper or just explore new things, you can either try dba.dk or Genbrug, the second-hand stores. Main chain of these is called Blue Cross, and all proceedings from the shop are going for charity. So let's suppose that you got your shopping bags in one hand, IKEA bag in the other, and you got home. Remember that we in Denmark like to be different. That's why we lock our doors in the opposite direction. Also, our power outlets are very happy to see you whenever you get home. Though if you're not happy to see them because your electronics do not have EU power outlet, you can visit Elgiganten or Bilka. You just had a rough, long first day. Time for a quick bite? How about McDonald's? Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but this will not be your safety net. Oh, unless you're from Norway and Denmark is cheap for you. One Big Mac menu will cost you 65 Danish crowns, which is almost 10 euros. Many restaurants are even more expensive. If you want to get a dinner at a nice restaurant, prepare at least 150 Danish crowns, as fine dining is very far from cheap in Denmark. Though there might be some street food options around your house. These are the cheapest quick bites you can find. Pizza slice will cost you 35 Danish crowns, and kebab will cost you 65. They are pretty big, so you don't have to worry about being hungry afterwards. Also, in Denmark we have a tendency to put this white stuff on top of our pizza, but let's leave that for another video.
So now you know all the essentials about Danish life, and especially how to survive the first days. Next week, we're going to be talking about basic Danish phrases and some important words that you should know if you want to live in here. Also, make sure to follow our Facebook page because next week we're going to be having a live stream where we're going to be talking not only about this topic, but other topics as well. As always, you can find a blog on our website, which is following this video, on student-survival.com, where you can find more information about this topic and learn some more cool things. Until next episode, tack och farväl!